Hey my friends, how are you doing? Happy morning. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for listening. This is the Academy Answers podcast, and it is always a pleasure to come to you to share with you the principles and strategies and belief system that we hold to be fundamental and factual on this podcast. And it is that we can create the life of our dreams, that we have within us the potential to create all that it is that we desire, because God has not placed a desire on our hearts that He has not given us the potential to fill. And that very desire is an indication of our capacity. The desire is an indication of our capacity. And today I want to talk with you about some simple things. Yesterday I spoke about a few things in terms of change that we often, myself included, as speakers, as motivators, as inspirators, we often leave out, and we take for granted that people will figure out themselves. But sometimes people start at the very basic level, and sometimes people come from so far down. They have been downtrodden and they have been beaten upon for so long. There's so many layers on their journey that it's so painstaking, it's so difficult for them to figure out everything on their own, to really go deep, to find every element of all the stuff that they need to get themselves to the next level. And it's our duty and it's our purpose to find every stumbling block that is in their way, to help them to get over those hurdles. And today I want to talk about the hurdle of frustration. And I think it was Leon Trotsky who said that it is impossible to go through life without being pulled into all type of perfidy, all type of frustration, all type of struggle. And it is tough to go ahead unless you have a mighty purpose that brings you up against the above this frustration and these type of obstacles that you will face, inevitably will face in life. And sometimes we talk about you must persevere, you should be consistent, you must never give up, you must keep going, you must push through. But we often never stop to identify with people as they go through the process, the frustration. We don't help them to build coping mechanisms to endure the journey, because you might be on a 6-year journey, you might be on a 10-year journey to bring you to a certain level. Not that the troubles will not that the pressures will go away in its entirety, but that you're trying to get to that level of fitness, financial independence, relationship. And before you get to that acceptable level, that first stop, there are mountains of frustration that you have to deal with moment by moment, and these could be years. And naturally, everybody needs coping mechanisms to help them to endure those times, those tough times. And I want to touch a little bit on that today, because these are real. I go through them, people go through them daily, and I want to identify with you if you are going through these things today, if you are facing these daily pressures that make you doubt, that make you want to give up, that make you stop, that make you question yourself, that make you feel like an imposter, that make you lose confidence, that make you lose drive, that sucks your energy. I want to help you to deal with those. And part of the problem, and the first thing, and the big idea today, is that frustration is the mother of these obstacles of pressure. The frustration that you feel is the biggest thing that's going to suck your productivity. It's going to suck your effort. It's going to weigh down on your confidence. It's going to affect and retard your results. Frustration. The frustration of failures, of not getting it right, of not having all the things lined up the way you expect it to line up. The frustration of the things that come up in between when you are trying to get something done. The frustration of your daily chores, the frustration of having to endure and to be in a place, in a position, in a job, in a relationship, in a home, in a community, in a group that is below, or you have outgrown, or that's not conducive to your goals or where you want to go in life. Those frustrations. And unless you find a way to deal with these, to live with, to avoid them, to go on, you will continue to produce them and you will perpetuate them, and they will continue to retard your result. They'll continue to annoy you. They'll continue to drain your energy. They'll continue to affect your productivity. So what are the things that feed these frustration that you need to cut off, that you need to handle? And a lot of times we create our own problems. And most times you find people who are steeped into frustration is that they've lived their entire lives half their lives creating problems for themselves, and half their lives trying to get out of these problems. And a lot of times, most cases, our frustrations are as a result of the decisions that we have made or have not made further up the road. And there's this fabulous saying that goes, when we fall, don't look where we fall, look where we slipped. When you fall, don't look where you fall, look where you slipped. And these frustrations will continue to build if you don't nip it, if you don't stop somewhere, if you don't draw the line. And some of the things, I'm going to highlight some of the things straight up. I'm going to make it short, that you need to tackle to ensure that these frustrations don't perpetuate and stay in continuity and keep coming up again. Do you need to have that conversation with your parents? You're in college, they're helping to finance your education. Do you need to have that conversation to say, hey, I don't want to be a doctor, I don't want to be a lawyer. I'm thinking of changing my major. Do you need to have that conversation? Do you need to say to your spouse or your partner, hey, I know you are doing that to get this money, to get that stuff, but are we going to sit down and look at some unnecessary things in your budget so that you can cut some of those overtime that you're doing, so you can spend time with us and we can go on a date and we can get to do this and we can get to do that? Hey, when are you going to stop speaking that way and speak from a more empowering perspective? When are you going to read a book or open up yourself to something that I'm saying to you here that is proven, that will help you or that might make your life better? Hey, when are you going to stop wasting so much time as a partner, as a friend, as a parent, and starting to do more productive things with your time and with your money? When are you going to have that uncomfortable conversation that has led to, the lack of which has led to this point of frustration that you're having now? When are you going to say to yourself, hey, or say to your boss, hey, it's time to reconsider me for that position, for that raise of pay? When are you going to approach that person that you want to do business with? When are you going to approach the client? When are you going to say, hey, I'm going to use this money to start this thing so I can create this thing and get on my journey? Because the longer we take to have those uncomfortable conversations or to make those uncomfortable moves, the more we prolong the frustrations that is a cloud over our daily lives, that's sucking our mental energy, that's frustrating us, that's keeping us from being consistent, that is retarding our productivity, and that is giving us poor results. So we are on this journey. We're trying to get things done. We're trying to get to a certain place, but we are under the weight of the frustrations. And unless we move boldly to address these things, then the frustration stays there. It's on our mind. It's affecting us physiologically and psychologically. And we are carrying unnecessary baggage in our minds and in our physical, in a physical way every day. And it is just an additional weight on the burden of all we already have getting to where we want to get to. My friends, if you're going to climb a mountain, you need tools. You don't need baggage. You don't need dead weight. You need things. You need empowering resources and thoughts and partners and circumstances that's going to help you up, not things that's going to pull you down. You need to make yourself light. So those frustration, all the points of frustrations in your life, most of them are starting from avoidance. What are you avoiding? The conversation, the action. Get them done, get them in. Nothing grows in a comfort zone, as the saying goes. Nothing grows in a comfort zone. You'll have to break that comfort zone. You have to have that uncomfortable conversation. You got to take those uncomfortable actions to ease your frustration. Thank you guys. Always a pleasure. Wanted to share that with you today so you can look where you slipped, not where you fall. Have a great one. Don't be in the avoidance mindset because it is perpetuating your frustration. Thank you.